A landmark resolution, but not without drama. World Aquatics strikes $4.6 million deal with former ISL swimmers. It's the news many in the swimming world have waited years to hear. World Aquatics, formerly known as FINA, has reached an agreement with the athletes involved in the long-running International Swimming League (ISL) legal battle. The historic $4.6 million settlement, currently awaiting final approval from a California federal judge, will provide compensation to swimmers who inked contracts to compete at both the scheduled 2018 ISL event in Turin and throughout the 2019 ISL season. For countless athletes, this marks not just a financial lifeline, but a validation of their years-long fight for fair treatment. This lawsuit started under previous FINA management and unfortunately dragged on longer than anyone wanted, admitted World Aquatics president Hussein Al-Musallam. But I'm relieved that at last we can make things right for the athletes who were impacted. Many of these swimmers were left in the lurch, and this settlement is our way of ensuring they're fully compensated. More than that, it shows that we're serious about supporting swimmers and growing the sport for everyone. But here's where it gets controversial. The dispute didn't just involve athletes. It was propelled and bankrolled largely by ISL's club ownership and leadership. The named swimmers at the forefront, Tom Shields and Katinka Hosszu, have been the visible faces, but the funding and legal horsepower behind the scenes came from the league. Notably, famed attorney Jeffrey Kessler, known for leading major sports lawsuits like NCAA vs. House, spearheaded the swimmers' case. However, the final chapter of this settlement is yet to be written. Only the judge's approval remains. And this is the part most people miss. Another lawsuit is still brewing. Even as this settlement comes together, an entirely separate case between ISL and World Aquatics is charging ahead toward an 8-day jury trial set for January 2026. The courts will revisit fundamental questions about competition, athlete freedom, and the power dynamics in world swimming. Rewinding to the origins, both lawsuits trace back to 2018. Swimmers accused World Aquatics of unfairly blocking their participation in competitions outside its own domain, while ISL alleged that threatened sanctions against swimmers undermined its league's growth and status. Perhaps most dramatically, the athletes say restrictive policies scuttled the 2018 Energy for Swim meet in Turin, costing them a combined $3.3 million in lost appearance fees and prize money. Some claim that the league's subsequent events, potentially lucrative, never got off the ground because of these actions. ISL managed to run 3 action-packed seasons from 2019 to 2021, growing from 7 meets to as many as 18. But in 2022, as world events escalated, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the league abruptly cancelled its 4th season and never returned. To this day, numerous swimmers report not having received their full payments from ISL, a controversy that fuels ongoing frustration within the sport. As for legal outcomes, after World Aquatics scored an initial victory when a lower court ruled in its favor in early 2023, Shields, Hosszu and the ISL mounted a determined appeal. In a twist this past September, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously decided that there was enough on the table for the antitrust claims to proceed, breathing new life into a case many thought was winding down. But the legal fireworks don't end there. In December, ISL fired another broadside, this time suing its own former law firm, Farella Braun and Martel, in San Francisco, alleging malpractice and breach of trust in its antitrust efforts against World Aquatics. If you thought sports law was boring, this saga will make you reconsider. Who will get paid, and how much? Here's where speculation starts. The official distribution method for the $4.6 million settlement hasn't been made public. And there isn't a complete list of athletes from the cancelled 2018 event. However, by looking at the 2019 ISL season, we know at least 251 swimmers scored points. If the settlement were divided equally, each could receive around $18,300. Realistically, expect the named lead plaintiffs, Shields and Hosszu, to earn a larger share, but exact details remain under wraps. Worth noting, World Aquatics has recently highlighted its own record-breaking numbers, boasting $7.1 million disbursed in prize money and a total of $11.1 million paid to athletes during 2024 events. These figures represent the highest payouts in the history of the organization, signaling a possible sea change in how swimmers are rewarded for their talents. The big questions: what's fair in pro sports? This story is about far more than a court settlement. At stake is how much control governing bodies should have over athletes' ability to compete or earn, and whether athletes' rights are properly protected. Did World Aquatics go too far in restricting competition? Did ISL make promises it couldn't keep? And now, with money changing hands, but justice still hotly debated, is this a victory for athletes or just a footnote in a much bigger story? What do you think? Was this settlement overdue justice for swimmers denied their earnings, or a necessary step to clean up years of legal chaos in world swimming? Should governing bodies like World Aquatics have the power to block athletes from competitions? Or did the ISL play a role in overpromising what it could deliver? Jump into the comments and let your voice be heard. These debates are far from over.